Hello, and welcome to lesson number 7, Probate Roulette. What is it, and what do you really own? This lesson is kind of in the legal terms, but it's a very important step. It's, looking at our assets. We don't want to leave it to chance. Like a roulette table, the wheel spins around and the marble goes around and it lands on a certain number, and it's all by chance on what happens next. We want to make sure that you are being able to go and take steps, be in action to ensure that the assets and real estate that you feel that you own really do get into your name. And if you've already gotten all of your bank accounts, investments accounts, safe deposit boxes, your home, any other real estate put into your name, you can skip this lesson. If you have not done this step, and gotten the things in your name instead of a joint or just your husband's, if you haven't gotten in your name, then this is the next step. It's probate. And this is not meant to be any legal or investment advice. It is informational in nature, and you need to reach out to an experienced advisor to guide you through this process. So let's think about what is probate. Ever since people have written out a will, those wills have been proven genuine by a judge. Without a probate process, greedy acquaintances and relatives could write up a fake will and state that they have all or part of the person's wealth belongs to them. Now, to establish a will as genuine, it must generally be witnessed and stamped by someone officially licensed to do so. Some wills have sometimes been approved even though they were written on a piece of scrap paper and have no witnesses. And it depends on which state that you're in, that if those are legal or not. But today we use probate more broadly to mean everything that's handled in the probate court. So it's a special court that oversees handling estates, the money and the property left when someone dies. Now we're going to make sure that everyone eventually receives what is properly theirs. So if appropriate, the next thing you need to do is hire a probate attorney, specifically in the geography where your husband has passed away or the assets are. And the costs can typically run around $3,000 to $10,000 or more. It varies largely depending on which state you live in, the amount of assets that you have, and the number of family members that you have that are part of the probate process. Now, if your husband's name is on the house, I would absolutely go through this process just to make sure that it's removed and your name is now on it. Because if you ever do want to sell it, especially within this first year after his death, then if you have a buyer, you don't have to try and go through this process to remove his name, because he needs to be there to sign for the sale, or you go through the probate process. Now, there are some states, like Florida, I know, for example, they make it fairly easy if you do have a sale pending that you don't have to go through the probate process. Please reach out to an estate planning attorney or an advisor like myself, just to make sure that your specific case can be talked through so you know what you need to do next. You probably have some guidance on your taxes, but one of the things that you need to make sure that you do in the last year that you're doing your taxes either by yourself or with your CPA is to go ahead and check mark that he is deceased this particular year, so the IRS can make note of that. And I would say that typically you want to try and go through the probate process within that first year. Again, you're going to want to have access to the assets and or sale of any real estate and be able to be free to do so whenever you would like. Now, sometimes there can be what's called a contested probate. That just means that somebody else has shown up saying, I think that this asset, this home, this property also belongs to me, or this portion belongs to me. And if that's the case and you can agree with them or have the lawyers draw up an agreement, then you don't need to necessarily go to court about it. But within the probate court, the judge can decide for the deceased who receives what portion of the assets that's being contested or argued about. I've got a family member who actually did not have a will or trust, and that document that says what they wanted to have go to where. And it's been almost 6 years now, and it's two people are fighting over the property, and it can take quite a while. So hopefully you don't have any contested. Hopefully that you are being able to move forward with grace and ease on all of this, no matter how it's turning out. Encourage your friends and families to create a will or a trust, that's legally documented, whatever state that you're in. And as an estate planning attorney can help you with all of this. And don't leave it to chance like the roulette. Don't play probate roulette. I look forward to our next lesson.